including the equipment and high-speed internet, which are not available in many marginalized communities.
In the spirit of the disability justice principles of cross-movement solidarity, we share these final words as part of our decolonizing greeting. We are in solidarity with the many movements for justice. We honor the lives of all who endured and continue to endure in the face of settler colonialism, white supremacy, and ableism.
So now we invite you to join us in acknowledging all this, as well as our shared responsibility to make good of this time and for each other to consider our roles in reconciliation and decolonization.
8 years ago, we started with a pledge. The Ghostlight project started with a pledge, and hundreds of theaters and theater communities gathered across the country in theater spaces, in colleges, in town squares. 4 years ago, we gathered again for a digital community call, a pep rally, connecting us across our homes to celebrate and amplify all of the good work theaters were producing. We did a nationwide call to invite cultural producers engaged in systemic change in our industry, and you all showed up.
Today, we gather again to create this video that will be shared to inspire others in the future and kick off the necessary work that is happening January 20th and beyond. We get it. There doesn't feel like there's enough time to do anything. We're exhausted from the past year and stressed for what's to come. For these reasons, we center accessibility, replenishment, inspiration, and collective power when we invite you to join us. This day has many powerful resonances for the community, from the Epiphany to the 2021 insurrection. We chose this day to prepare for the 20th of January, which will also be a day we must thoughtfully prepare for. It is both Inauguration Day and Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Many of us are starting our short winter breaks now, and some of us are not planning to be active for all of January. Keeping that in mind, we invite you to join us for a short gathering where we will be able to amplify and illuminate all we have to offer. Let's start our year off with a powerful note.
I want to do a gigantic thank you to the Ghostlight Steering Committee members who gathered just on the fly to gather us again very quickly to respond to this moment. And also just a big thanks to Calling Up Justice and all the technical staff of Calling Up Justice and Maya Mama for helping us to arrange this live stream. And a big thanks to Ghostlight ASL Interpreting for sign language interpreting the event, and to HowlRound for presenting this event. We just want to thank you all for helping to support this. Now, we're framing this event as a very small footprint, casual moment to do a shout, to do a call to action to the entire country. Before we do that, our technical person has requested that we return once again to our land acknowledgement. There was a technical issue with the sound, and they've requested that we read the land acknowledgement again. How do we all feel about that? Do we feel okay with reading the land? I'm seeing so many thumbs up and so many hand claps. I love it. All right, Maya Mama. Just let us, do we need to start back at the top of the land acknowledgement?
Yes, please.
Okay. We will begin with a decolonizing greeting. We must acknowledge that wherever we are located, we are on occupied territory. Settler colonizers and imperialists from Europe took the unceded lands on which we gather by force from the indigenous ancestors and present-day peoples who have stewarded land, water, and living beings since time immemorial. Please reflect and act on your responsibilities to indigenous peoples in your location, given this information.
We acknowledge that the dominant culture is based on stolen land and forced, unpaid, or coerced labor of enslaved Black people and many other groups. Since our activities are shared digitally to the internet, we must also take a moment to consider the legacy of colonization embedded within technological structures, including the equipment and high-speed internet, which are not available in many marginalized communities.
In the spirit of the disability justice principle of cross-movement solidarity, we share these final words as part of our decolonizing greeting. We are in solidarity with the many movements for justice. We honor the lives of all who endured and continue to endure in the face of settler colonialism, white supremacy, and ableism.
So now we invite you to join us in acknowledging all this, as well as our shared responsibility to make good of this time and for each of us to consider our roles in reconciliation and decolonization.
Thank you all for joining us for that decolonizing greeting. So before we jump in to this kickoff event on January 6th, that is going to set us up to get us excited about January 20th, that's setting us up to get excited about the rest of the year, we would like to pause and take a look back at how all of this started. What did we do collectively together 8 years ago with the Ghostlight Project?
Maybe it's this city, dressed up in all her finery.
We would now like to welcome our testimonials and speakers to the stage. Could I invite Jonathan Norton, Artistic Director of National Black Theater, to speak?
Hi, everybody. Hi. So grateful to be here. So grateful to be on to be able to be a part of this community to talk about this wonderful, actually meaningful and necessary visionary work that Ghostlight has done and continues to do for our community. And when we think about the Ghostlight and we think about the power of the Ghostlight in the theatrical realm, it is to keep the light on when it is dark. It is to shape and frame what darkness can look like. It is to give darkness a definition and a space so it could be defined. And so what we get to do in this moment is that we get to define how we are shaping and molding and crafting and building inside of the darkness, how we use our light as an illuminating tool to actually awaken new worlds, new spaces of becoming, and also a new space of grace and love. This doesn't have to be a dark moment where we are not cultivating our wisdom and our light. It can be a dark moment where the best parts of us are actually forged. If we think about how we were birthed and how we were crafted into this world, the womb, which is the dark space, and we usher ourselves into the light. And so may this be a moment where we don't just rest and find it as a complacent space, but we find it as a space of deep imagination. Your brain was forged in darkness. Your bones were forged in darkness. Your muscles were forged in darkness. There's an opportunity for you to reimagine the ways in which you think, the ways in which you operate. I work at National Black Theater. I'm the executive artistic director of the National Black Theater, a close to 60-year-old organization housed in Harlem, where our light is building a cultural institution that will be the space for Black liberation to be housed in the American canon and in the known global cultural frame. So that's how I'm keeping my light on. That's how I'm deciding to keep the light on for the next 4 years, is making sure that there's a cultural institution that is open, resourced, and ready to welcome all that need a refuge, a space to find their liberation and to name their liberation today.
Thank you, Jonathan Norton, Executive Artistic Director of the National Black Theater in New York. I'd like to now welcome speaker Alex Maida, Artistic Director of Studio Luna and co-leadership team member of the Network of Ensemble Theaters.
Thank you so much, Claudia. I'm so happy to be here amongst a community and people that care about the well-being and dreams of others. So it's just an honor. Really quickly, before I get to my invitation from NET as a board member of the Andre Caillou Center for the Performing Arts and Cultural Justice, run by the inimitable Lauren Turner Hines, I want to invite you, if you're in the New Orleans area on the 20th, to join the MLK Community Concert on site at 6 p.m. I'll be there. I hope to see you. And on behalf of the Network of Ensemble Theaters, I want to share that while we're not hosting a specific event on January 20th, we will be lifting up, amplifying, and shouting out all of your events. We're also expanding open resource lists for and of ensemble practice and collective creation practitioners whose work reflects a more just and imaginative world that values the labor, the creativity, and the wellness of all of us all year round and with more intensity than ever across the next 4 years. At NET, we've been in a process of transformation, and we've been focused on building decentralized models of leadership that invite our members and the ensemble field to advocate, collaborate, and lead through mutual aid and solidarity economy practices. It feels so linked to the spirit of this project, and we just support it so deeply, like I said, year round and for the next 4 years and beyond. We want to invite anybody listening to participate in our open process for developing and deepening our practices around our values of collective care, discernment, releasing tension, tending to conflict, generative disagreement, and flexibility. I want to invite all of us to continue to be a net for each other in times both difficult and abundant. We are sending everyone love. And if you want to find out more, please join this net. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex Maida, Artistic Director of Studio Luna and co-leadership team member of the Network of Ensemble Theaters. I'm now welcoming to the stage Jesse Alec, co-director of Here Theater.
Everyone, greetings and salutations. My name is Jesse Cameron Alec. I am a dramaturg, producer, artistic researcher, and science fiction expert. As Claudia said, I'm one of the co-directors of Here Art Center. I'm here in downtown New York City, and the theater is run on a shared leadership model. And so my co-directors, just to shout them out because they're great people, Annalisa Diaz, Lauren Miller, and Lansing Fu, bring a lot of love via myself. I hope that you're all doing well, because I know that the heavy is very heavy right now, and it's difficult to get anything sort of done. And it's easy, I think, also to say, why should I do anything? Why should I try? Why should I fight for the rights of people who might not be fighting for me? To which I respond, if you require great tranquility, prepare to sweat white beads. I think that we have to roll up our sleeves in this sort of moment. So in response to the sort of moment, Here Art Center is doing some civic engagement activities the week of January 20th. There's just a few sort of activities that we're doing right now. We had big ambitions. We got this idea in sort of December, of course. And so we had big ambitions. It's only going to be a few activities. We're giving over our theater to a trans collective of sort of playwrights on January 22nd. And then on January 23rd, we're bringing in an immigration and LGBT lawyer to do a town hall, a Know Your Rights sort of seminar, which we're very, very excited about. And then we're also bringing in artists who have also become elected officials later on in the week to do a sort of panel on how to do that and why to do that. And would you be silly enough to make such a bold choice in your life? But we're really excited about all those sort of activities. Check out here.org for more activities. I think we're not even announcing, you're getting the inside sort of scoop on all this. We're not even announcing all the activities until next week. And we hope that some of these activities can do something, can kind of like open up our doors and share our sort of space with others, which is a big value that we have at Here Art Center. And I think that having the building in this moment is a gigantic burden. And it's an opportunity as well to actually open up the doors and let other people sort of do their thing inside of our building. And that's a big sort of model shift that we're looking at over the next year of how instead of us just producing things, how can we give our space to other theater companies to allow them to speak on our stages as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse Alec, co-artistic director of Here Theater. I now want to welcome Carrie J. Cole, artistic director, Theater by the Grove, and director of What the Constitution Means to Me at Invisible Theater of Tucson. Thank you, Carrie Cole.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, everyone on the Ghostlight team for including me and giving me this opportunity. I am wearing two hats right now as I'm in rehearsals for what the Constitution means to me, which is part of the specific work that I'm doing to keep my artistic light on in this storm. We have our first audience on January 19th, and I'm working on Heidi Schreck's beautiful play with the managing artistic director in the role of Heidi from Invisible Theater, Betsy Cruz Craig. It's phenomenal. It is turning on the lights for me every time I go into the space. And that is really important to my artistic practice, but also to the pedagogical practice that I'm in. Theater by the Grove is the theater company that is part of our Department of Music, Theater, and Dance at Indiana University of Pennsylvania in Indiana, Pennsylvania. And like so many theater programs in higher education right now, we have been under duress. We have been really having to fight more than we may have desired to find ways to expand the systems of higher education to include the way that we can see these changes slowly but surely in the theater communities at large around the U.S. One of the ways that we've done that is to really look at our core values, and with our students, our future collaborators in the profession, we've established 3 core values: supporting creative autonomy, so that our students have the tools to move into their profession as advocates for their art. Health and well-being as the foundation for creation, and transparency and the removal of barriers, so that we can find ways to pass the torch, pass the ghostlight on to future generations. I'm excited to continue this work. I'm excited to uplift the Ghostlight project with the students when I return to campus. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie. We want to welcome Leah Kozach now. Leah Kozach is the Board Vice President and Advocacy Committee Chair of the Colorado Theater Guild. Thank you so much for joining us, Leah.
Thanks, Claudia. Hi, everyone. Like Claudia said, I'm with the Colorado Theater Guild. We are an arts service organization that helps out individual arts workers and organizations through membership throughout the state of Colorado, but we do have, colleagues and friends throughout the Rocky Mountain region and nationally who check in with us and participate remotely and in person when we host in-person events. So I think the main thing that I've taken away from this last batch of years with the Ghostlight project is the level of connectivity that has been created past geography. I think a lot of times we get into the hyper regional, which is very good, and the hyper local, which is very good. But if we've learned anything over the last 7 or 8 years is how we have tools and resources and abilities to connect with one another nationally and internationally and support one another in whatever way we can. So I'm really affirmed in that. I really believe in making that a possibility for folks in more geographically isolated parts in our state, for sure. We definitely have that divide of a lot of folks in highly urbanized and suburban areas, and then folks in more rural communities. And given Colorado, we have, a big old mountain range separating a good chunk of the state, and we have weather that we're dealing with all day, every day. But having had access to be able to connect with folks all over the place to share what it is we want to do, what we need to do, finding ways of helping one another, sometimes in the ways that are deeply uncomfortable for people to ask. That's something that gives me a lot of hope, joy, light, is remembering that the whole concept of a ghost light is to take away isolation and to take away aloneness. It's providing a physical manifestation of an actual light on stage to keep things alive, thriving, moving, even when things are still. So I very much hope that over this next batch of weeks, as we get into the 20th, and as you've said before, all the things that are coming up in this next batch of years, some that we just don't know what's going to come, that we find ways to help one another. So I know that the Colorado Theater Guild is very committed to doing that kind of work for arts workers of all kinds in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Leah. I'm about to call Christina Wong onto the stage, but I realized that in the hubbub and chaos of being a member of this organizing committee, I forgot to put myself in the script to say what we were planning to do to celebrate and honor January 20th. So that is Martin Luther King Day. So there's a bunch of really amazing events that are going to be taking place inside the Bay Area. And if you want to join Calling Up Justice, we will be doing a masking performances where we will be distributing free KN94, KN95 masks to folks for COVID safety while people are gathering outside and gathering in community to celebrate Martin Luther King Day and just to celebrate community. So we're going to be doing a bunch of mask performances. And if you want to get in on some super fun mask distribution, you can join Calling Up Justice in the Bay Area on January 20th. I now want to invite Christina Wong, Pulitzer Prize finalist and theater leader, to share some words about how they're going to be shining the light.
Hi, everybody. I'm Christina Wong, and this is not our first apocalypse, folks. So we just gotta do that again. I'm here at my sewing machine, my revolutionary machine. I'm a solo performer, and the last apocalypse, we had that pandemic thing, and I ran a group called the Auntie Sewing Squad, using my sewing skills to lead a group of 800 aunties to make 350,000 masks for vulnerable communities all over the country, and waiting for us to become obsolete. But as a result of basically covering up the government's dumbass, we built this incredible community of care and trust in each other. And I experienced generosity like I never really knew it could exist before. And I feel like in theater, people are already so generous with their time, with their energy, with their stories. But there was something so different about being in this time that was very scary, and being able to be so honest with each other, and so giving of ourselves in a time where we weren't sure if a trip to the post office would jeopardize our lives. So so why do I share all this, and what is next? I hopefully we won't, we still have masks now left over from the first pandemic. We're still in this long pandemic, by the way. It didn't go away, as we all know, but I'm here at the sewing machine because I've been thinking, okay, shit, what am I gonna do? And one is I will continue doing my work as a performer. I have a show called Christina Wong, Food Bank Influencer, that is coming out, and that started as my interest in a food bank in Los Angeles that's extremely generous and doesn't require you to show proof of income. And anyone can basically shop their donations. And so that is, one thing I will continue. But another thing I maybe want to impart just on a personal levels, I've been just sort of thinking how the way to fight oligarchy is to buy as little as possible, to join your local buy nothing group, and to have to make decisions around acquisition that involve as little, just as less and as much exploitation as possible, and to really just invest in experiences. And I think that's what we make as theater goers. So I'm showing you what I'm working on right now. Is I collected yesterday all these jeans from my Buy Nothing group, and this is I basically started this when we had our call at 2:30, but these are the butts of all my neighbors basically, and I'm making a kitchen mat. So, so I was stepping on this, but it's to me symbolic, in the sense of, is everything I need within my community? Can I make it happen? Do I need to purchase things? How can I improve my relationship to the things around me and the people around me by engaging it on this personal level and making it with my own bare hands if I have to. So yeah, I'm gonna step on those butts, Leah. So I think that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, I can't believe how much this is fast, folks. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina Wong. So we pulled this together real last minute style, y'all. Like Trump was declared to be the president, and then we were like, you know what? Maybe we need to gather again. Maybe we need to gather again thoughtfully as theater leaders and reflect on what we did 8 years ago, what we did 4 years ago, and what we want for now and the future. We chose January 6th to gather today as just a moment to kick off a lot of events for January 20th. And we chose that because it's a day of powerful resonances. As we've said, January 20th is not only Martin Luther King Day, it is also Inauguration Day. So we just wanted to share. So Tom and I are going to speak. We're just going to share a few actions you can take. We are keeping in mind that we all must work within our capacities. Some theaters are dark right now. Some theaters don't even have spaces. Some theaters were hit real hard in the last 4 years. So we just want to encourage so many different ways you can shine the light. So this is a call to action. I'm gonna name some actions, and I'm gonna pass the microphone to Tom to name some actions. And we encourage participants to engage in one or more of the following activities we share with you, tailored to your capacity. So you can create light in the digital space. That's what we're doing right here, right now. You can post on social media. This is a super low bar. You can share photos. You can share videos. You can share videos of past awesome things you did that were shining the light. You can also share videos of things you're doing right now. You can share written reflections using the hashtag Ghostlight Project. You can highlight how your organization or community is keeping its light on by simply publishing your story on social media. And also you can update your website. You could dedicate a section to the Ghostlight Project right now. Again, working within your capacities. You could share stories from different company members or features that connect to the theme of the Ghostlight Project. So these are just a few ways you could shine the light in your digital space. Hey, Tom, what are some other ways people can shine the light?
Well, this is very meaningful to me personally, obviously, but you can illuminate physical spaces. You can install signage, display a Be a Light poster, or custom messages of hope and justice in your space. Or you can even just put a ghost light in your window. In fact, there are many theaters still today who have their ghost lights up in their windows from 8 years ago. Symbolize your commitment to keeping the light on in your community. And if you need any help, consult your local lighting designer.
I just want to do a big shout out to David Zen, and so many lighting designers are a part of the Ghostlight Project, everyone. So many designers are a part of this project. So just thank you to everyone involved. So yes, please host a full lighting ceremony at your institution. Like that's what we did 8 years ago. And it felt like a gigantic lift. It felt like we were randomly asking everyone all over the country, would you please do a random lighting ceremony in January when your theater's dark? And I still visit those videos where I see community members gathering in the cold with little candle lights, talking about how they're going to care for each other and care for themselves. So yeah, host a lighting ceremony, organize a gathering with speakers, artists, community members. You can include performances, you can include singing, you can include people just talking. I know that when I produced our Ghostlight ceremony 8 years ago, it was when most of the theaters were dark, and we reached out to every theater, not just the professional theaters, but the community theaters, because this is about keeping the light on everywhere. We reached out to the schools, so we had student speakers. But the other exciting part about Inauguration Day is that it's also Martin Luther King Day. Possibly you can shine the light on January 20th and you can join somebody else shining light. Collaborate on your local Martin Luther King Day celebration. You can partner with a local organization to honor both the spirit of the Ghostlight Project and Martin Luther King Day. And you can also incorporate themes of social justice and community building into your programming around that.
I'm back. You can reach out to local arts and cultural organizations to co-create events and share the labor. And you can network with neighboring theaters and institutions to broaden your collective impact.
So as we are preparing for January 20th, the entire point of us gathering in this really on the fly, quick digital live stream to connect with you was to spark the guiding question. How are you keeping your light on? I gotta say, my light needs constant power, and I get my power from seeing you, from hearing you, from witnessing your work. So let's gather, create, and illuminate together. Now, the last time we gathered together, this was like in January of 2020 or March of 2021. The last time we gathered together, we sang a song collectively and we shined a light. And the way we did that was we took our cell phone. We just put our cell phone, the camera on. I'm gonna do an example for you. So watch out. I'm about to shine my camera phone literally right into the thing, just like this. Boop, right? And then our technical geniuses made us be inside a light bulb. So I would like to invite us all to come onto camera, take out our lighting devices. I'm gonna invite Christina Wong to put down the sewing thread and to pick up a lighting device. And we're just gonna take a moment to shine our light collectively together. Hey everyone, let's shine our light for the Ghostlight Project. Doing it? I think I'm doing it. Woo! All right, friends, colleagues, we want to invite you to, in the chat, comment what you're already planning on doing, but also I need you to know it is not too late to start planning activities for January 20th. So please feel free to email us at wearetheghostlightproject@gmail.com. Please feel free to reach out to the website. We will be working to amplify all of your actions on January 20th and continuing forward. And let us know if you would like to join the Ghostlight Project for future work. Thank you so much to everyone involved in this wonderful, wonderful gathering. I just want to do a final shout out as we close out with our shining lights.